You did it again today. Maybe in the car, maybe in the shower, maybe just now, before you clicked on this video. You said something out loud, or at least in your head, to no one in particular. Just you, talking to yourself. And if someone saw you, they might have raised an eyebrow. Because somewhere along the way, talking to yourself became the thing people do when something is wrong with them. The sign of a troubled mind. The punchline of a joke. But the real reason you do it is far stranger and far more important. And it has nothing to do with being crazy. It has to do with how your brain was built. Psychologist Lev Vygotsky was the first to take self-talk seriously as a scientific phenomenon. Working in the early 20th century, he noticed something that everyone had overlooked. Children, when left alone to solve a problem, talk out loud constantly. They narrate what they are doing. They give themselves instructions. They ask themselves questions and answer them. And then, as they grow older, that voice goes quiet. It moves inward. It becomes the voice in your head, the one running right now as you read these words. Vygotsky called this internalized speech, and his insight was radical. He said the voice in your head is not just a side effect of thinking. It is thinking. The inner voice is not a passenger in your cognitive process. It is the vehicle. This means that when you talk to yourself, you are not doing something extra. You are doing something fundamental. You are using language the way it was always meant to be used, as a tool for organizing the mind. Think about what happens when you face a hard decision, a real one, the kind that keeps you up at night. You do not experience it as a silent mathematical calculation. You talk it through. You say to yourself, okay, if I do this, then that happens. But then again, but what if? You run the scenario out loud, or close to it. And something about hearing the words, even in your own voice, even silently, makes the options clearer than they were before. This is not a quirk. This is your brain doing exactly what it evolved to do. Researcher Charles Fernyhough at Durham University has spent decades studying the inner voice. What he found challenges everything most people assume about self-talk. The inner voice is not one thing. It is not a single, unified narrator sitting somewhere behind your eyes. It is a dynamic, layered process, sometimes dialogic, meaning it takes two sides, argues with itself, holds a conversation between different parts of your mind. You are not one voice, you are many, and the conversation between them is how you think. This is why, when you are stuck, you might catch yourself saying out loud, okay, think, or come on, you know this, or just breathe. You are not talking to someone else. You are activating a system. You are using language to regulate your own cognitive and emotional state. Psychologists call this self-regulatory speech, and the research on it is striking. Studies show that people who use self-talk while performing complex tasks make fewer errors. Athletes who talk themselves through high-pressure moments perform better than those who stay silent. Surgeons who narrate their own actions during difficult procedures are more precise. The voice in your head is not a distraction from the task. It is part of the task. And here is the part that most people do not expect. Talking to yourself in the third person works better than talking to yourself in the first person. Psychologist Kross at the University of Michigan ran a series of experiments on exactly this. He found that when people face a stressful situation and talk themselves through it using their own name, as in, "What should Sarah do right now?" instead of, What should I do right now? They perform significantly better. Their anxiety drops. Their reasoning improves. They make wiser decisions. Why? Because calling yourself by name creates just enough psychological distance to let you think clearly. When you say I, you are too close to the problem. You are inside it. When you say your own name, you step outside yourself for a moment. You become your own advisor, your own coach. And that small shift in language changes everything about how your brain processes the challenge. You have probably done this without realizing it. You have probably caught yourself saying your own name in your head during a hard moment. And it worked. And you never knew why. Now you do. But where does the inner voice come from in the first place? Why does the mind speak to itself at all? The answer goes back further than Vygotsky. It goes back to the fundamental structure of human development. Unlike almost every other animal on Earth, humans are born radically unfinished. A newborn foal can walk within hours. A human infant cannot hold up its own head. We spend years dependent on other people, and during those years, we are bathed in language. Other people talk to us constantly. They narrate our world. They label our emotions. They explain cause and effect. They tell us stories about who we are and what things mean. And slowly, we internalize that voice. We take the external conversation, the one happening between us and the people around us, and we bring it inside. The inner voice is, at its deepest level, the voices of the people who raised us, transformed into a tool we now use to raise ourselves. This is why your inner voice sounds the way it does. It has a tone, a rhythm. It might be harsh or kind, impatient or patient. It might sound like someone you grew up with, and it might not always serve you well. Because the voice was shaped by experiences that were not always safe or supportive. And yet, it is the voice running your internal world, day after day. This is not a small thing. The quality of your inner voice, the way it speaks to you, the words it chooses, the tone it uses, shapes your experience of being alive more than almost anything external. More than your circumstances, more than what other people say to you. Because you are talking to yourself every waking moment. And most people never stop to notice what is actually being said. Researcher Kristin Neff at the University of Texas has spent years studying the content of self-talk, particularly self-compassionate speech versus self-critical speech. What she found is simple and devastating. Most people speak to themselves in ways they would never speak to another person. They use language toward themselves that they would consider cruel if someone else used it toward a friend. And they do it automatically, constantly, without noticing. And that inner harshness has real consequences. It activates the same stress response as external threat. It raises cortisol. It narrows thinking. It makes hard things harder. The good news is this: the voice is not fixed. It was learned. And what was learned can be changed. Not by silencing it. The research makes clear that trying to suppress the inner voice tends to make it louder, not quieter, but by changing how it speaks, by becoming, deliberately, a better internal conversationalist. So the next time you catch yourself talking to yourself, in the car, in the shower, in the middle of a hard moment, you are not losing your mind. You are using it. You are doing what every human does, what every human has always done. You are thinking, out loud, in the most human way there is. The voice in your head is ancient. It was built for exactly this. And how you use it, what you say, how you say it, whether you speak to yourself the way you would speak to someone you love, may be one of the most important things you ever decide. You did it again today, talking to yourself. And now you know exactly why.